Hey guys, I was cleaning out my PC hard drives to free up some space so I can finally reinstall Monster Hunter Wilds. Man, this game needs 118 gigabytes. AAA titles and their storage requirements are getting absolutely insane these days. I actually dropped Monster Hunter Wilds after Seregios and Lagiacrus update and never came back. But now feels like the perfect time to catch up. Plus, I can finally grab that air-cracking greatsword and cosplay as Whitebeard from One Piece. Yes, Whitebeard is my all-time favorite. So this is my chance to feel like I've got at least 1% of his power. Wait, what was I even talking about? Oh yeah, while I was digging through old files, I stumbled on a bunch of abandoned projects. Looking at them gave me this huge wave of nostalgia. I just sat there with silly green and wiping dust off them, thinking, wow, I was so ambitious and stupid back then. Before deleting everything, I figured I would give these old files one last chance to shine. Show you guys they actually existed. So let me give you some quick context, a little bit lore about me before we dive in. I'm a huge Monster Hunter fan. I've been hunting since Monster Hunter Freedom 2 on the PSP. Handheld gaming is in my blood. Freedom Unite and Portable Third were my absolute jam back in the day. And when Monster Hunter Rise came out, it gave me that exact same feeling all over again. Rise was the first game I ever pre-ordered in my life. It's also the reason I bought a Nintendo Switch. Not for Zelda, not for Mario, but for Monster Hunter Rise. I was obsessed. Playing through it felt like reliving my childhood. That excitement where you literally can't wait to get home from work or school just to hunt. Yeah, that was me every single day. I would come home, boot it up, listen to the Third Fleet podcast with Rurikon and Gaijin Hunter. Life was perfect. A few months in, the honeymoon phase faded a bit. I already beaten the game and I started noticing things that could have been so much better. That was the first time I really felt the itch to create content, to point out what was missing, what could improve the systems, and share my own ideas. Here's one idea I still don't get why they never did. A proper tracking system. Instead of every monster popping up on the map right away, why not let your Palamute sniff them out? Think about it. The very first time you fight a monster, it shouldn't just be marked on the map. After you successfully hunt it and get parts as reward, you could hold one piece of that monster's material and you can let your Palamute sniff it, and Palamute can reveal monster's location on the map. It would have added so much immersion. Oh, and nighttime Kamura, with all those lanterns glowing, I bet it would have looked breathtaking. A full day and night cycle in the village would have been such a great touch. I had tons of ideas like this and I wanted to share them in my own style, with gags and jokes that only Monster Hunter fans would get. I even thought about unfair advantages using my animation knowledge to make something unique to stand out from other Monster Hunter YouTubers. Well, okay, that's enough backstory. Let me boot up this first blend file. Okay, this is kind of embarrassing, not gonna lie. This was my very first attempt at content creation. This here is how I wanted to make a video. Let me try to get into the character that I wanted to be back then. Alright, here goes nothing. Hey everybody! Welcome to my Monster Hunter Rise playthrough. I didn't have a name or channel name or any name back then, so let's just say I just introduced myself. And today I finally became a hunter in Kamura village. I get my own set of that awesome Kamura signature gear, plus my hunter license from the chief. So does that mean I can hunt monsters as much as I want, even to extinction? There should have been Fugen's death stare, but I didn't draw it. Then my hunter goes, haha, joking, joking. And here I was gonna talk about magic equipment box, saying something like, I finally have an access to equipment box. You know, that thing where you can dump anything in one box and get that item from any other one. Basically an ender chest from Minecraft. Isn't that amazing? And here my hunter meets up with Yomogi, but I forgot the joke. Oh wait, I remember. There was that quest where Great Izuchi blocks the path with its big butt. So Yomogi doesn't get her dango delivery. She goes full demon time. You walk up, she starts yelling the quest description at you in rage. And that's pretty much where I stopped. The plan was a let's play series. Gameplay mixed with these little animated gags. All of it just to get to the point where I could share my feedback and ideas. I was that ambitious. Oh, and I almost forgot, I even made an intro for episode 1. I wanted to show I was this old world hunter who couldn't handle modern tech. Kind of like Huntsman, you know? He faceplants, title card drops, then the episode starts. You might think, wow, that sounds awesome. Shame you dropped it. I still think it had potential, but just the intro and those few poses took me over 2 months. I was already burning out. Why? Lack of knowledge, no real planning, no critical thinking, plus a full-time job. That was the reason. Imagine pumping out 1 episode every 3 months. The burnout would have been brutal. Any sane person would have quit, right? But me? I didn't have that sanity. I thought the problem isn't the scope, it's 2D animation. So I switched to 3D, figuring it would be easier long term, reusing poses, animations, etc. What I didn't realize, every other character would need modeling, rigging, animation too. Environments also needed to be made in my style. I wanted to make those so I could use the different camera angles for some weird reason. At first I aimed for a low poly style, easier to model, light on performance, simple to rig. But then I kept adding more details to make things look good, low poly or not. Same with characters. Oh, did I mention I modeled Hinoa? Look at her long neck in a static pose. She kinda looked like a blow-up doll with that mouth. So now I had the big building behind Hinoa's bench, Hinoa and my hunter. Surely I would do something with them, right? Well, I did animate a small scene in an isometric view, but it had nothing to do with the playthrough series. While modeling the building, I kept thinking, wouldn't it be cool to use this for my portfolio? Like an isometric slice of one day in Kamura, day and night cycle in this little corner. Kagero the merchant rolls in with his portable shop, villagers going about life, Palicos resting, playing and working. Wouldn't that be nice? From one thing I jumped to another. I'm not sure if it's ADHD or just me, but I kept shifting focus. What I lacked was sitting down, digesting ideas, making a firm decision. I chased whatever felt cool in the moment and convinced myself it would look amazing. Would it look cool? Sure. Could I actually finish it? That question never got asked. A few weeks later, I finally realized this was way too ambitious. Burnout hit, motivation has completely gone. As a result, I dropped it. While other people procrastinate by watching endless tutorials without applying, I was procrastinating by constantly shifting the focus and not working for one result. My mindset was, I'll share it only if it perfectly fits my vision. In a way, that's kind of like procrastination too. Keep working on something new, always starting a new project, dropping it midway because you either lost interest or stuck somewhere and not finishing them. Now that I think about it, I did all that just to avoid posting a result. I was scared to post online. Scared of judgment, scared of posting once and then not being consistent. Now I have a much healthier approach, though that little worry about consistency still lurks. It's not a full fear anymore, just concern. I'm working on it, trying to post as often as possible. Squeezing 3 to 5 productive hours a day while having a full-time job and life responsibilities isn't easy. Sometimes I wish I could be like Blackbeard from One Piece who doesn't sleep. As Shanks said, do you think he enjoys life twice as much as we do? I think that meme fits him perfectly. Party by day, study at night. Anyway, I didn't mean for this to turn into a life lesson. But it did. If you learned anything from my chaotic, ambitious mistakes, that's great. One morning I was sitting on the toilet pooping, Scrolling Twitter at like 4 a.m., I saw something new for Rise. Reddish purple colors. Rise art style, but way better. I thought I was tripping. I rubbed my eyes and looked closer. Nope, it was actually Monster Hunter Rise G-Rank expansion called Sunbreak. That reignited everything. I wanted to post whatever I had and close this chapter of my journey. But of course, some improvement was needed. Since the first models were already done, I couldn't just post them with boring shading. I wanted that watercolor look. Rise's Japanese-inspired art, those beautiful Master Hojo paintings. It resonated so much. I got inspired by this Japanese blender artist called Gaku, who does amazing colorful watercolor environments. He uses a big circle as skybox, turns off shadings, and hand paints over models like on white paper. I tried grease pencil, it made me miserable. So instead I texture painted on the alpha channel, imitating watercolor brush strokes with imperfect paints. Super tedious, but when I saw everything coming together, I actually started enjoying it. For the first time I was happy with the result. Here's how it turned out. I slept like a baby that night. Next morning my inner voice kicked in. You can't just post a static building on YouTube? What's the point? Nothing interesting is happening. Why would anyone care? Animate it, make it interesting to watch. And I agreed. Then the second Sunbreak trailer dropped. I was so motivated to make a theory crafting video, breaking down small details and theories not many people were talking about. I needed to upload ASAP. That's when I finally beat my perfectionism, animated my avatar talking, and posted my very first video on a brand new channel. But that's a story for another time. I still have so many abandoned projects in my hard drive to talk about, but I'm not sure if these small storytime videos are what you want to watch, so let me know. I'm not used to sharing personal stuff like this, so please drop your thoughts in the comments. Oh, what's that? Why am I sitting on the ground this whole time? Because Floor Gang! I think it would be best if I upload those files to my Patreon, so you can take a look at how I did those things or use them for your own projects or whatever. At least they can call Patreon their new home from now on. Alrighty then, let me wrap things up and install this flipping Monster Hunter Wilds. Have a good day, see you in the next one.